It was a quiet Sunday morning when my wife, Laura, told me she was heading to church. She said she wanted to spend some time praying and attending the service. This wasn't unusual. She'd been going regularly for months, sometimes alone, sometimes with friends. I kissed her goodbye and watched her drive off, not suspecting anything. But something inside me that day felt off. A strange unease I couldn't quite shake. About an hour later, I finished some work at home and decided to surprise her by picking her up from church. I thought it would be a sweet gesture. Maybe we could go for breakfast afterward. I grabbed my keys and drove toward the church she usually attended. The streets were quiet, and when I arrived, I parked right outside. I expected to see her car in the lot, but I didn't. I thought maybe she parked further away. So I decided to text her, "Hey, I'm outside waiting." A few seconds later, I saw the 3 little dots showing she was typing. Then, nothing. They disappeared. A minute later, they came back. Then gone again. Finally, she replied with a short, "What? You're here." I replied instantly, "Yeah, figured I'd surprise you." This time, the dots didn't appear. The silence felt heavy. Then my phone rang. It was Laura. Her voice was shaky as she asked why I came. I told her I just wanted to see her and take her out afterward. She hesitated for a long moment before saying, "I'm not at church right now." That sentence hit me like a punch. I asked her where she was, and she stammered something about being with a friend. My chest tightened. "What friend?" I asked. She mumbled a name I didn't recognize and quickly said she'd be home in a bit. I didn't argue. I simply said, "I'll wait here." The pause after that was deafening. Then she hung up. 10 minutes later, I saw her car pull into the church parking lot from the opposite direction. She was wearing jeans and a blouse, not her usual Sunday dress. And she wasn't alone. A man was in the passenger seat. The moment she saw me standing outside my car, her face went pale. The man stayed in the car, avoiding eye contact. She got out, forcing a smile. "It's not what it looks like," she said immediately. I raised an eyebrow and glanced at the man still sitting inside her car. My voice was calm, almost too calm. "Then explain it to me." She opened her mouth, closed it again, then sighed. The man eventually got out, muttered a quick "sorry," and walked away toward another car parked down the street. I asked her straight out if she'd been lying to me about going to church. She looked down at the ground and admitted, "I needed some space, and I've been talking to someone." The words, "talking to someone," sounded like a pathetic cover. I told her she had one chance to be honest. She whispered, "It's more than talking." My heart sank, but my voice stayed steady. I told her I'd already suspected something for weeks. The late-night phone calls, the sudden excuses, the distant attitude. I just needed proof. Today, I got it. Her hands trembled, and she kept saying she was sorry, that it just happened. But I wasn't buying the accidental narrative. I told her to go home alone. She begged me to talk, to hear her side, but I was done listening. I needed time to think without her manipulations. I drove away, leaving her standing in the parking lot. My phone kept buzzing with her calls, but I ignored them. When I finally got home, I sat in silence for a long time. Anger, hurt, and disbelief tangled in my mind. I knew I had to make a choice, confront this head-on or walk away entirely. That night, I told her to stay at her sister's place. I needed distance. The next day, I went through our phone records and saw multiple calls and texts to the same unknown number. Some were late at night, some during work hours. That was all the confirmation I needed. I confronted her with the evidence, and she finally admitted she'd been seeing him for 2 months. Her excuse: she felt unappreciated and lonely. I told her if she felt that way, she could have talked to me, not betrayed me. Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. I wasn't sure I even wanted to try. By the end of the week, I'd packed some of my things and told her I was staying with a friend. I didn't know what the future held, but I knew one thing: the woman who stood in that parking lot, frozen when she saw me, wasn't the same person I married. And I wasn't sure she ever would be again. Even now, when I think about that day, I can still picture the moment she froze after my text. It was the instant she realized her lies had caught up with her. And in that moment, I knew, the truth always has a way of showing up, whether you're ready for it or not.